Hi, it's Frank Versace, and in today's episode, we're going to talk about how you can easily read your client's mind and close more sales. Stick around.
Are you ready? This is Agent Career Launch. And now, here's Frank Versace with the tools, tips, and tactics to make your real estate career blast off.
So you're sitting across the table from a great prospect, you've made your best presentation, you get to the end of the presentation and you go for the close, you don't get the sale. Now why not? There's a very good reason for that. Most likely you've gone in, you've talked about features and benefits and all the reasons why they should work with you, but one thing is missing. The thing that's missing is the connection. The prospect, the person, did not feel that they trusted you, that they knew you, that they potentially even liked you. So how do we get in front of a prospect as a realtor to make a compelling presentation, as we should, but also connect with the prospect? There's a very good way to do it. And in psychology, there was actually a test developed called the DISC personality profile test. Now, if we use the DISC profile, we will be able to literally read our clients' minds and put ourselves in a position where they come to know, like, and trust us because they view us just like them. And guess what? People like people just like themselves. Now, if you could do that, if you could position yourself like your prospect and get into their shoes, by knowing a little bit of information in psychology, imagine what can happen to your business. Let's cover off the DISC profile and exactly what it is. So the DISC, of course, as we said, stands for the D, the I, the S, and the C. Let's cover off exactly what those are. The D stands for decisive or demanding. A D personality style, they're going to want to get in, get out, make a decision, get to the bottom line, and let's get moving. Their style is going to be faster, okay? Now the I stands for interactive or influential. An I is going to be very excitable. They're going to be using their hands. They're going to be talking loud, lots of voice inflection, and they're going to just be yapping and chatting you up. They're going to be super excited just to talk to anybody. They're the life of the party. The S is a little bit more cautious. They're a little bit more steady. They're a little bit more nurturing, and they're going to be a little bit slower in their tone of voice. And the C is cautious, right? They are going to be very detail oriented. They're going to want to dot the I's, cross the T's, look at all the numbers, get all the information. Don't pressure me. I need more information, right? And so if you know that going in, you can tailor your presentation and your style so that you're appealing to what they like. You're effectively reading their mind and tailoring exactly how you're talking and speaking to them and the information you're presenting so that they receive it and they respect you, they know you, they like you, and at the end of a presentation, they're going to be more willing to do business with you because they feel like you are just like them. So let's go back here. The I and the S are more people-oriented, right? They're more people-oriented. And the D and the C are more task-oriented. The D and the I are going to be a little faster, and the C and the S are going to be a little bit slower, right? So there's a saying that opposites attract. Well, that in sales is completely wrong. Opposites do not attract. The way to get someone to know, like, and trust you is you have to become like them. You must become a chameleon, right? Now, people don't just go around and telegraph, hey, I'm a D, I'm an I, I'm a C, I'm an S. They're not going to tell you up front. They probably don't even know what they are themselves. Most of the population doesn't know. But if you use a little bit of smarts, and in poker, we call those the tells, right? The poker tells. They're always watching for the cues to figure out what does this player have? What kind of hand do they have? So that you can know in advance and play the hand, play the player. So here's how we're going to do that. In order to determine whether they're a D, I, S, or a C, we're going to look at some areas where you can tell what the person is. So we'll take a look at career, handshake, voicemail, dress, vehicle, their home, and what are their fears, right? So let's take a look at the first one. As a career, right, the D's and the I's are very similar. They're going to be mostly in sales. They're going to be entrepreneurial. They're going to be managers. They're going to be probably in a leadership position. and they're going to be very bottom line oriented, or they're going to be very personable, especially in sales. You get a lot of eyes. A lot of realtors are eyes because we're very personable. We can get along with anybody. Put us in a room and we will chat and have a great time. So those are the D's and the I's. Now the S's, they're probably going to be more in a steady, sort of a less risky position, something like a nurse or a teacher, some sort of a caregiver occupation. And then the C, because they're more cautious, they're more detail oriented, you'll probably find them to be more on the, the accountants or engineers, something that's very specific, very detail oriented. So that's one way to tell as you're going through and you're talking to people. You can sort of start to pigeon a little bit about where they are. What about the handshake? This is a great one, right? You meet someone off the cuff, you walk in. Now this person comes in, hey, how you doing? Sticks out your hand and meat hooks you, clenches you down, and literally breaks off your hand. That's a D all day long. That's a D. They're coming in strong and they're in and they're out. What is about an I? Well, an I is going to be a little bit more excitable. They're going to come in too. They're going to go for the handshake, probably not as strong. They might even grab your wrist a little bit, and they're going to be a little bit more touchy, right? As far as grabbing your wrist and maybe a pat on the back, hey buddy, and they're all a little bit more excited. What about an S? An S is going to come in. They're going to be a little bit softer in their handshake. They may even come in for a hug, right? And they're going to be a little bit more touchy-feely. They're very nurturing, and they want to know how you're doing, right, as a person. And what about a C? A C is probably going to come in, again, a little bit of a softer handshake, and they might be coming from a distance, right? They're not going to get too close to you in your face. They're probably going to shake your hand a little bit further at a distance, a little bit more aloof, okay? So that's how you can tell from a handshake. What about a voicemail, right? You haven't even met the person, you're calling them, and all of a sudden you hear their voice message. Can you tell whether a D, I, S, or a C? Sure. When you get a D's voice message, it's going to be leave a message at the tone. Beep. Quick, fast, in and out, right? If you get an I, it's probably going to be, hey, hi, how you doing? I'm super excited. I'm on vacation. I'm not here. Leave a message. I'll get back to you, right? Beep. And then you're going to get the S, right? They're going to be a little bit slower in their voice. Hello, this is the Smith family. We hope you're doing well. Please leave a message at the tone, right? You're going to be able to tell that. And then what about a C? C is going to be very, very detailed. It is Saturday, January the 1st, 2018. Please leave a detailed message with the reason why you're calling, and we will return your call at our earliest opportunity. Beep. Right? So right away, when you're hearing those voice messages, you should be thinking, okay, D, I, S, or C, and start to position people in your mind so that when you meet with them, you're now figuring out, okay, how should I be with this person? What about dress? How does a D dress, right? A D is going to probably dress head to toe, all black, one color, power color, that's it, right? An I, well, they're excited. They're the life of the party. They want to stand out from the group. So they're going to come in lots of boisterous colors and probably flamboyant clothes, right? They want to be noticed. What about an S? An S is going to be a little bit more practical in their clothing, maybe a little bit more casual. And a C is also going to be practical, but they'll be maybe a little bit slanted towards more formal in their dress, right? Now, what about a vehicle? How can you tell someone's personality style by what they drive? Well, guess what a D is going to drive? Probably a black Mercedes or a black BMW, right? Just cut to the chase. What's an I going to drive? Again, super excited. They're probably going to be driving a red little sports car, Corvette, something like that. Something that's exciting, something that people will notice them in, right? What's an S going to drive? They're probably going to drive something that's very safe. A Volvo, right? They're going to be driving a Volvo that keeps them safe. Don't want to cause any, don't want to get into any accidents. And then what's a C going to be driving? They're going to be driving something that's more economical. Probably a Prius or something that gets fantastic gas mileage, right? Because they're going to be working the numbers, making sure that their car is the most economical. Now, what about the home? When you walk into somebody's home, this is one of the benefits of being a realtor. We can walk into someone's home and we get to see their personality up on the wall, right? And so when you walk into a D's home, what are some of the things that you might notice? It's probably going to be a little bit more minimal, right? There's not going to be all these fancy things all over the wall. Probably be more minimal art, perhaps. What about an I? Well, an I is probably, they're going to be excited, right, to show off themselves, all the vacations they went on. They're going to have selfies. They're going to have awards. They're going to have trophies just laid out everywhere. Look at me, I'm awesome, right? That's going to be more of an I because they want to chat about themselves. What about an S? An S will probably, you'll notice on the fridge, there'll probably be pictures. The pictures will always be of their families, their kids, their grandkids, and they're going to want to make sure that, you know, you are talking about their family. They're not too excited necessarily about talking about themselves. Now, what about a C? A C is going to be in terms of what they're going to have up on the wall. They're probably going to have like a calendar. They're going to have some kind of a scheduling system. Maybe they'll have the bills that they have to pay on the wall. And so they're going to have that set up. So when you walk into someone's home, you can very quickly take advantage and know what they're looking for in terms of what they have up on the wall. Now, what about the fear? What about the fear of a D, I, an S, and a C? Well, the fear of a D is being taken advantage of, right? That's the biggest thing. If somebody takes advantage of a D, boy, they're going to come strong right after you, right? What about an I? Well, an I, because they're putting themselves out there, right? And they're saying, hey, look at me. Their biggest fear is rejection, right? And what about an S? Well, an S, being very cautious, right? Their biggest fear is loss of security. They don't want to ruffle the boat or ruffle the feathers or rock the boat. And what about a C? Well, because they're very precise, dot the I, cross the T's, the C's biggest fear is criticism or somebody pointing out that they are wrong. They want to be correct. They want to be compliant. And so, again, we have to realize that if we want to get people to know, like, and trust us, we have to take into account these poker tells, use them, figure out what personality style they are, and as well, figure out what kind of personality style you are. Because again, you want to be that chameleon, right? You want to be just like they are. So if you're a D and you're bottom line, results oriented, driven, and all of a sudden you get in front of a C who wants all the information, that's the two biggest headbutts. Because a D wants to get in and get out. I've given you the information, make a decision. The C wants more information, give me more details. I'm not ready to make a decision, so give me some time. Now, if a D comes in and pressures the C, what's going to happen? You're going to repel the C, right? The D just wants to get the answer and the C does not want to give an answer. What about if it's the reverse? If you're a C and you're giving more information, you're going to repel the D. The D is going to say, why is this person giving me so information? Just give me what I need. I got to get going. I have enough information. Let's get it moving, right? So as you start to figure out who your prospect is, you can start to tailor your presentation so that you are appealing to them as they are, not as you are, as they are. You also need to figure out exactly what personality style you are. Now, if you're a realtor and you're watching this, I'm going to guess most likely you're probably D, probably I. Some of us are C's. I'm a D, I'm a high D, high I all day long, right up at the top, and my SC is way low. But that's besides the point. If you want to figure out what you are, what I would recommend is Google Tony Robbins DISC personality profile test. That'll take you to a link. You can go through. There's no cost. There's no obligation for anything. Go through and it'll ask you a bunch of questions. At the end of it, it'll spit out this fantastic PDF report, and that will tell you more about yourself than you probably don't even know. So go ahead and do that. And I'm sure once you put this into practice in your business, you will have tremendous success and
make your real estate career